you ever find yourself addicted to the internet? Like you can't seem to get away, whether it's your internet, your phone, you're always on the internet. It's kind of hard to step away, right? It's on your smartphone, it's everywhere. Did you know that it's actually an addiction? There's an addiction called internet addiction. Especially, there's a place in Pennsylvania that really is addressing this because they're actually opening an inpatient treatment program for internet addiction. I believe it's the first in the country. So it's appropriate to invite Dr. Marcy Bothwell back to prime time to break this down for us. But she's on her laptop too. Hey, are you addicted to the internet?
What? What?
I know, it's a problem. Okay, let's talk about this because you have Facebook, you research, you Google, you have emails.
Yeah, what?
Okay, so talk
What
to
about
about
it?
it. People really are
I'm
addicted.
busy.
I know it. I would say half the population is addicted to the internet. They don't even know it. But this is a real phenomenon, right?
Well, actually, the psychiatrists are having a little bit of a hard time trying to decide what's just bad behavior and what's an addiction. What's true disease and what's just, you're spending too much time. One of the criteria is, have you found yourself online a little bit longer than you thought you would be? Well, how many of us can say that? Yes.
Yes. Yes, I am because yeah. Everything is online. It's horrible. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is you really have to talk about what is addiction and what's bad behavior or what is compulsive behavior or obsessive compulsive or impulse control. Is it salient? Is it really important to you? Do you have a loss of control? Is it changing your mood? Is it making you a better mood or a worse mood?
Do you feel anxiety when you can't get to the internet?
Yeah.
Via smartphone or computer?
Exactly. Are you getting tolerant? And do you feel withdrawal? This one guy in Pennsylvania said there was a guy there who punched the wall through when they took his internet away.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then do you continue to do this despite you may be firing me or something like that if I actually worked here, but the negative consequences, do you do it? It's much like alcohol or cocaine or something like that. The internet, you have to decide, is it a substance, like a real thing that you can be addicted to, or is it a vehicle that other things that, you may be depressed, you may be obsessive, you may be something else, can be addicted to. Mm-hmm. But I also want to clear the air. Pennsylvania was not the first.
Oh, I said I believe. That's what I said I believe.
No, it's because I sent that to you. We out on the West Coast, we can be internet addicted too. We actually have the first one out in Washington State.
Wow.
Yeah, and we can put that up if you really feel the need to go join one of these programs. And it has a 45-day inpatient addiction center, if you will.
Are we talking about people who are addicted to internet porn or gambling? I mean, because it's the information.
Right.
Well,
if you
so
had
you
to
have
break it down,
it's
number 1 is porn, number 2 is gambling, and number 3 is texting. And we've gone through all the things with the state laws on texting and making sure your phone's not with you. Those are the big 3 that people really worry about. But it's really, if it's going to destroy your relationship with your family or then it could potentially be an addiction.
I'll give you an example. You're cuddling with your kids that you do every night, and you've got your phone next to you, you're checking your emails instead of being there present with your children.
Exactly.
I wonder who does that.
Not me. Not me, not you. I've never seen you do that. No. But it really is. It really is a problem because it's such a wonderful resource. I get tons of information from it. Right. Some good, some not so good. But you always have to kind of clarify how much of that is going to be destroying your other elements of your life. It's when you say yes to one thing, you are obviously saying no to something else. And hopefully that's not your kids or your family or your work or things like that.
Yeah.
So whether it's an addiction or not, the DSM-5 is coming out this year, and people are still arguing about it. Right now it's not classified as its own special segment. It's now under other things like impulse control or obsessive compulsive disorder. But there are some positive things to having it being labeled an addiction.
Okay.
People get better treatment. It's recognized as a disease. There are negative things too, though. You know, is it really a disease, or is it just bad behavior?
Or a way of life, or like
Or a way of
self-control.
life.
Lack
Yeah.
of self-control.
So there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
go. It can go either way, but it's just something to be aware of, and that we all need to spend more time with. I walk down the street and I'm like, how many people are doing this now? And how many people actually have a face-to-face conversation?
I agree. What are you talking about? You text me all the time. I'm like, just call me. Okay, let me ask you something really quick. What
is
about the other health issues around, like electromagnetic waves coming from your laptop and your phone?
Off the blue
Yeah.
light on the computer. I actually don't have enough information on that to be able to comment today on it. I mean, there is some of the things, especially on sleep deprivation, though, and your computer. You really do not need to be on your computer right before you go to bed because of the blue light that comes off. It disturbs your sleep.
Wow.
You need to be off there at least an hour.
I like it.
Yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
put it on your bed when it's still on because you could cause a fire.
No, and think of the
That's true.
activities that is allowing you not to participate in if you're just on your phone. And
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother show, Marcy. Thank you for telling us about internet addiction. We're obviously got to talk about another addiction when you come back. And there are many in this country. Okay.